Hey folks, welcome back. So today we're going over count and coalesce DAX functions, and I'm going to tell you why they're staples within your dashboard creation. We're also going to talk about how you can couple these two DAX expressions together and then return zeros instead of blanks. So first up you have count. So count is essentially just going to count every single row based upon a specified column within a table. So within this one, we're going to be using absence analytics and name. Now, I recommend that you do a name column, employee ID column, just so you know the column that you're referencing has a value within it. If it does not have a value, it's not going to count the row. So you want to ensure that you're utilizing the count function for a column that has every row filled out. Pretty simple, right? So next up we have coalesce. So coalesce is amazing because what it does is instead of showing a blank value, as in the actual words blank, right? Now you're looking at a zero. So it's useful when you're looking at numbers and looking at gains, losses, sales, deployability, flags, anything to that extent where you're looking at total aggregate numbers and you don't want to just see a blank value because something is not matched. Now, say for instance, we're looking at a certain date band for absences and we're looking at next year from January to February, and we're looking at a certain absence type, and we filter down to those 2 months, and we look and see, hey, nobody actually has an absence request during that period. We don't want to see blank. What we want to see is zero. And that's what we're going to do actually within Power BI today. So let's dive in. All right, so first up, what we're going to do is we're going to click on Absence Analytics, and that's the table we're going to work in today. We're going to create a new measure, and I'm just going to say total equals count, open that expression. Then I'm looking for member name and close that and enter. And now what I want to do is insert a KPI. I'm just going to put that here. No crazy formatting for this one. We'll get to that at a later time. And we're going to say total. So we actually see the total name that we inserted and we have 6,145, but there's no thousand separator. So what we want to do, click on total, and then automatically you have your format option up here, and we can click on the comma. You can also add decimal points as well in case you need something like that. And then now that we have our comma, we're good to go. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to create a slicer and we're going to put reason description in there. And that's going to be all our different absence types that we have. Now there is a blank, and that's because I haven't really transformed the data too much yet, and I'll fix that at a later time. But I wanted to show you what they all can look like here by category. So I'm just going to put that over here. Okay, so after we did the reason description, what we're going to do is add a slicer again. We're going to move that over here, and we're going to do begin date. So now we have a slider for begin date. It's going to make it a little bit bigger. And now we can see, based upon certain date bands, we can look at how far out it goes for a begin date of the absence. But I want to look at, let's just say advanced absence, and I want to see what's available from March 2026 to September 2026. And I have blank right now. And I don't want to see blank, right? I want to see a zero, in fact, because what a blank does, it shows me that the dashboard is kind of incomplete. There's not much fine tuning that was done to it, and you want to really get after having a complete product within your dashboard. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click on that measure again. So go ahead and click on total. And now what we're going to do is we're going to edit our DAX statement. So honestly, we can just delete this whole thing because we don't need it. We're just going to type it from scratch. So we're going to say coalesce. We're going to say count. Now we're nesting both of those DAX expressions together at this point. Then we're going to say reason description, right? Because that's what we're looking for. And it comes up with the first one. We're going to close that off. We're going to press comma, then zero, then close that up. So this is basically going to say count it normally and then wrap it with the coalesce statement and say, if you don't receive a certain value, just give me a zero. We're going to press the check mark and move this out of the way. And now we have a zero. So think of your coalesce as essentially like an if-error statement within Excel, just another way to look at it. And it's an easier way to go ahead and refine and fine tune your dashboard so that you have a greater end product and it just looks cleaner overall. With that said, that's all I have for today, folks. Thanks for watching.